helping you. And SCORE is focused on making sure that you succeed. What's so wonderful is you get to really lean into their expertise, which there is so much value in somebody else's blood, sweat, and tears and their experience, being able to share that with you. That really saves you that significant time, energy, or money that you would spend to get this kind of experience. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. But the most important thing that you need to do is to find that chat box. So the chat box is where we do customize everything that we're doing. And I do listen to everybody in the chat box. So it's important to do that. I do want you to keep your microphones on mute, just to get a nice, good, clean recording for anybody who is watching this in post, or perhaps you, now that you're applying what you've learned, you might want to use this and the handouts that I provide to you and the slides to be able to use like an outline and a checklist, if you will, as you go through and apply what you've learned. So you might want to really listen in at certain spots. And if somebody has chatter going on in the background, or, just any distraction. I just want to make it a great learning environment for everybody. And I want to make sure you find that chat box. So please say hello in the chat box, because I do have that up and I'd like to make sure that everybody can find that. So I can hear you. Perfect. Good morning. Good morning, Kim. I see you. Barbara, hello. Hello. Tunithia, hello. Welcome. Welcome. Francis, Stephen, hello. I see you. Jamila, Darren, hello. BP, welcome. Welcome. Carissa, hello. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Kim, I love this, everybody. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you finding that chat box. Okay, everybody, we're about to get started. And before we dive on in, I'm going to go ahead and share, here we go, how to get a copy of today's slides. So what you'll need to do is, to get a copy of today's slides, is you will need to go ahead and use that QR code, use the link that you see here, or I will also, let me get that for you, drop a link for you in, let's see, right here. Actually, it's, oh goodness, I see that now. Let's see. You might want to use the one actually in the chat box. That will take you right directly there. So you do want to use the one in the chat box. Apologize for that. I'm going to go ahead and leave this screen. For some reason, I had the wrong QR code there. Perfect. Use the one in the chat box. What will happen is then you will need to download. So you can click at it, click on those, and you'll see the handout and the slides, but you want to download those. The reason you want to download those is they're only available while we're live in session. After the session, then you'll see that you have to ask permission to access those. You don't want to do that, because you will get them again when you get a copy of the actual recording. You'll get a copy of the slides, and handout will follow along with that. But if you want to get started right away, because we know that knowledge is not powerful until it's applied, then you do want to do that first. So do make sure, again, find the link that I just dropped. I'm going to drop it again if you just came in, because I know you may not see the chats that happened right before you, but go ahead and take a look at the links within the chat box, and that's where you're going to find all the handout and the slides that I'm using right now. Okay. And we are going to go ahead and start the recording. I know that Bill has it. I also do one too. We just like to make sure that we are well covered so that you can have everything that you need to go ahead and apply what you learn. Again, SCORE Indiana and any of your SCORE mentors, any SCORE chapter that you're involved with, please reach out to them if you have further questions, because they are really here to support you. So today we're talking about how you can increase your sales with Google tools. If this is your first time in a session with me, just put the number 1 in the chat box. I'd love to say hello to the first timers here, and of course, welcome back to people who have been here before. Thank you, friends, for being here before. For those who are brand new, you'll find that I'm very, very much interactive in the session. I like to make sure that you are getting what you need to be able to grow your business and increase sales, which is what we're talking about today. So welcome everybody who is a new timer here. Thank you for being here. Please thank the person or the organization, the chapter that invited you, or your mentor that invited you. You can find me at the bottom, handles at the very bottom with the @ sign where you see @Maria Duron. That's me on X, or you can find me on Instagram, which is @Marketing Coach Maria. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, yeah, I have been doing this for a while. I've been on the Google team for a little over 7.5, almost 8 years, but I have been in small business for a little over 20 years, 17 of those years in being in international e-commerce. So I know what it's like to be able to be butcher, baker, candlestick maker, and now you're trying to figure out all these tools, be the head of AI as well as the chief janitor, right? I know what it means to be able to do that as well as care for your clients. Everything that I share with you is about being practical in what you do. I like to share what is free or small fee. I am a bootstrap marketer, which means I am looking at what contributes to your bottom line and making sure that you stay profitable, because there are many people willing to spend your money, but there are so many tools out there that are free that you have not fully calibrated or optimized to get the most visibility that you need. And frankly, if people don't know you exist, they can't do business with you. So this is where I come from. I have a lot of small business experience, and I have even received the Excellence in Small Business Award from the Texas governor. So as we showcase today what you can do with your Google business profile, how many, the link didn't work for you? No worries. Let's put it right down here again. I'm going to put it here. Now, just so that you know, um, it is case sensitive, everybody. So if you try to put an M where Maria would be proper capitalized as a proper noun, you can't do that because Bitly is very sensitive. If you have Norton antivirus, it doesn't like Bitly links. Okay, just to let you know that. It'll ask you, do you want to go here? And talk about how unsafe it is. So it's just, it doesn't like Bitly links, but then you can wait till it comes, or if you want to say, yes, go on through, I'm just going to go ahead and get all the goodies, then you can too. Okay. Now we're also talking about how you can list your products on Google, how you set yourself up for success. And I always end with a recap of free resources and what you can do to start making a difference and applying what you've learned. Now, how many of you here have a Google business profile? Put the letter Y in the chat box. I'd love to know who has one and how you use it. Okay, Barbara, Kim, Shima, let me see. Stanya, sorry, Stanya, that T went by me too fast. Carissa, Kim, let's see, Carissa, you don't have one. No worries. You're going to learn a lot about that today, about really how you can optimize and calibrate it. How about you, Cam? Let me know, how have you used your Google business profile? Let me know in the chat box. Okay. Anybody want to share how they've used it? Let me know. I always learn from other people's experience as well, not just score mentors, to add pictures of products. All right, to come up where when people look locally, exactly. No worries, Marie, you're going to learn a lot today to really optimize and become even more visible so you can take the lead in Google search and maps, and getting found is so important because if people don't know you exist, they cannot do business with you. All right, no worries. Sure, we'll check and double check if you do. We'll take you through some things, Donna, that you can use as your checklist even afterwards, okay? Webinars to be seen by the community, posting pics. I love, so for those of you who have set it up already and revisited it after the first time you set it up, bravo. Just wanted to say that because a lot of people set it and forget it, and they truly do not even utilize the power of the tool, because it is a very powerful tool with reviews and reputation management, your quality score, and also local search engine optimization, and now AEO, answer engine optimization, which is also SEO, but a version of it now powered by voice search, because what? People are searching with AI, Perplexity, ChatGPT, Google Gemini. You know, there's so many different ways people search now, Claude. So as we think about this, we really need to know and understand that. So for those of you who have revisited it and utilized it, bravo to you. For those who are posting and providing updates there, even better, because those are each signals to the algorithm that you are an active business. And just like they say on social, you know, it's a medium that is very short-lived as far as the time that your content is visible, that the last time you posted is the last time your business was in business. It's the same thing with your Google business profile. Google's reading all these signals, and in order for Google to show you up, so show you high in the first 10 10 searches. So that's the first page of Google search on a desktop, or 2 swipes on a mobile device, since we mostly all go on mobile. Then we know that if we don't show up in those areas, the first 10 searches, then people don't consider us excellent at what we do. And it doesn't matter what our budget is. If they don't find us there, then and they don't even have the budget, they still want to do business with people and businesses that are excellent at what they do. So you want to show up there because there is a halo effect that comes from that. But if Google doesn't trust you enough to showcase you within the first 10 searches, then we need to do some work. Now, part of that work is your updates and what you actually post within your Google business profile. So how many of you are brick and mortar, e-commerce, or both? So if you're brick and mortar, put one, e-commerce, put two, both, put three. I'd love to hear. Okay, I see a brick, see e-commerce, a couple of brick and mortars in here too, e-commerce, both, wonderful, all right. A lot of e-commerce, a lot of both. Okay, let me dispel the myth immediately for those of you who said e-commerce and said, I can't use Google Business Profile. It is true that Google Business Profile does say if you're only online based, then you cannot use Google Business Profile because you don't have a location that people can visit. But that's a myth. Okay, so it does say that in the policies, but as you interpret through it, you don't have to have a location. Plumbers, for example, or carpet installers who know that you don't need to showcase where your warehouse and where you keep your van is because you should actually service people at their location, know that you don't have to show your actual location. So for those of us in e-commerce, if you've ever delivered something to somebody in a package or hand delivered to them in your mailbox, at the church parking lot, when you're waiting to pick up your school kids, when you're out volunteering, when you're at a soccer meet, then you are bringing products and services to your customer's location. Okay, so let's talk about how you can utilize that. Sure, even mobile. I work with a lot of mobile rotaries or notaries, I should say, notaries who go to notarize papers, who absolutely are very powerful in utilizing their Google Business Profile to make sure that they are seen and visible. So for you, the first thing I want you to really think about now is, be it brick and mortar, e-commerce, or both, or what are the three things you want customers to know about your business? If I was talking to somebody about your business and I was telling them, you know what? You really, really need to talk to so and so because they're excellent at they do this. You need to talk to so and so. What are the words that you want me to say? What are the words you want me to use when I'm speaking to my circle of influence, who I have the most influence over, and they could get your product or have an interest in your product, service, or solution? So about gift shows with your Google business profile, it depends what, like shows, those are limited time. So a lot of times those don't, but there are so many exceptions now that I've seen come out with even seasonal, like boat rentals, seasonal raft rentals, ATMs now have Google business profile. Kiosks have Google business profile within locations. Like if an ATM's in a Walmart, it can have its own location. So there are so many exceptions now. So I would definitely take a look at that and do some research, because if you can use it, you can be more visible. Okay, you want them to know what the product is and where they can buy it. Okay, now I want you to really think about this. You've heard this before, I'm sure. People talk about benefit language and feature language. A feature is, this is a nice hard case. The benefit is, I will not have to worry about replacing my phone tomorrow when I drop it on the floor again, because this case protects it. So I really, as the consumer, we as the manufacturer or even the provider of a service or solution are in love with the features, because we might have taken forever to be able to pick this material out. And we really went through a lot of different quotes and spoke to so many different manufacturers. But what the people want to know at the end is, what's in it for me? If you imagine that we all have tattooed on our head or on our phone, WIIFM, we need to be able to connect the dots, and it's on us to be experts on what people need and what we provide and how that helps them. So for example, if I were wanting people, let's say I wanted to somebody to talk about this phone to a friend of mine, I wouldn't want them to talk about, okay, you can get this on Amazon and it's this amount. I would want them to say, you don't have to worry about your phone breaking anywhere. You have to get this. Here's a link to get it. So I could answer it in that way. So there are a couple of things that you might want them to say. Maybe you do a great education online, so they already know that they just need to be able to know where to buy it, right? Because there are different levels of buyer awareness, from unaware that there's even a problem to aware that you are the only solution for them, right? So what services, what hours, excellent quality and service, products on consignment, can I use the business? It's brick and mortar. Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, so you can now if you have products on consignment, again, you have to really talk to who owns the location where they're at. Okay, sometimes you share those locations. Somebody's mic came on, everybody. Just wanted to let you know to please mute your mic because we are recording this, everybody. All right. So how can you showcase your business with a Google Business Profile? Well, you'll find that this is the Google Business Profile. If you're looking at Google search on desktop, hangs out nice on the right-hand side, getting nice visual real estate there. Plus it shows up in search. So you're in maps. I mean, so you're not just in search, you're also in maps. And take a look at it when you're looking at it on a mobile. It has all the information that someone needs. And if you don't show up here, people automatically think that your business doesn't exist or you're out of business because so many businesses shut down and they weren't able to make the pivot that needed to happen in 2020. There are many people who immediately think can't find you on search and maps, they don't exist, or it was just a myth that they're here. Maybe that's another name. And they start looking around, which means they start looking at your potential competitors who could get share of mind and visibility from that. But you'll see all your great contact information there. So as you see your searches, look also how people search because a lot of people look near me. They may love, absolutely adore a national brand. They think it's the best, but they want to do business locally. They don't want to wait for it to ship, or maybe it's too heavy and too costly for it to ship. So they want to know who locally has that available to them. So they're shopping near them. And this happened well before 2020, everybody, just so that you know. I mean, it was happening in 2018. My dad, who is 88 years old, when he needed a new chair, went immediately to Google to look. So it's not generational, it's a whole new way people shop. And now we have heightened expectations after 2020 that at that time, when everybody was making a change and we were surprised and really excited when our favorite place to eat actually started delivering. Now, after Amazon setting the expectation of 24-hour delivery and DoorDash and Uber Eats actually trying to get everybody, we can deliver to your door. We have that expectation, heightened expectation, and we're almost upset when people and other businesses don't have that available to them. So we know that people are searching for near them. And this is important for you to be aware of. So when you set up your profile, this is a good slide to go to. I'm not going to go through it now, but it's a good checklist when you do set that up and make sure that you can get found for your local area or your service areas. So let's dive in to how we can actually optimize really and calibrate this amazing tool that really helps us get visibility. Okay, I see some questions here. The can I Oh, okay. I think I answered all those questions. Thank you everybody for using that chat box. I love that. So as you keep your profile current, when you actually have verified that you're the business owner, so you've started your business profile, you verified that you own the business. Now, when you go to Google search, you will see all these icons alive and you can click on them and start making edits and actually optimizing what you're doing. So let's take that deeper dive in what you can do. You've got your business name, the category. This is really important. Are you matching what people are searching for? This is important because, are you let's say I was working with somebody who they are an educational consultant, but they're also a counselor, they're a therapist. So they are able to show up for all of those different categories. There wasn't a one size category fits all. And I do know that because there are 3,000 categories. That's all that are available to you. So not every business is represented there. But once you have verified your Google business profile, you can choose 9 other subcategories. So you could be an education consultant and then also a therapist, a counselor, maybe you're a practitioner, an expert in play therapy. So you can put all of those different categories. So when people are looking for you, they can find what makes you uniquely you with all your different services and experience. Here is the caution though, okay? Know that anytime you make adjustments to your category in your Google business profile, this is a major signal to Google's algorithm. And a lot of times, because it is a major signal, a major change signal, it throws you into a verification event because Google has to make sure, wait a minute, Did somebody hack your account? Are you sure this is still the business? Let's double check that everything is still the same. So what I coach people to do is to make sure that you don't change a main category unless you absolutely have to, because you will be put into a verification event. So by default, the first category you pick is your default or primary category. But your 9 subcategories, choose those slowly. Like I will have somebody add those, and I say, wait about 3 to 4 weeks, and then add your second one. So don't do anything swiftly in there, because we want this to be a natural growth and evolution of your business and not some quick changes that are happening in your Google business profile. Now, with your description, make sure you match how people are searching. What if Google changes your main category? If Google changes it, that's fine. You can go back to change it in. But here's the caution. It could trigger a verification event, BP. And the big thing you want to do is just change that. Don't change anything else. A lot of people, because we're so busy, will go in and they'll see that alert from Google. So they'll make that change. And then all of a sudden they'll start thinking, well, I meant to change this and I was going to change these hours. They start making changes because we're trying to be efficient. But understand, we don't want to make any swift changes there. One change at a time. Let time evolve for a little bit or time pass, and then go on. Can I hide my business address on there if I'm registered business addresses at home? Absolutely, Zara. Absolutely. It asks you specifically whether or not you want foot traffic, which means I serve people at my location. That means you're a bar, restaurant, salon, a boutique. You want foot traffic, people walking in your door. Or it asks you, do you want to publish your address? And you say, no, I serve my clients or customers at their location. That's what you would choose. Now, what happens a lot of times is when that happens and we get our verification code either by video, by text, by email, or by a postcard, then we are immediately dropped. Once we put our verification, our confirmation code in, we're immediately dropped into a Google map, and it says to move the pin. Don't do it. You can skip that. You don't have to do it. It's tempting you to do that. It also is permission to Google once you move that pin to show your location. So don't do it. But I know it tempts everybody when we go back in there to do it, because it's step one when you go in to log in. So just keep that in mind. Verification can depend, really, it can be right away if your business has existed online for a while and we've seen your website and your phone number or been there for a while and have great domain authority. It could be really long if you have to do a video verification, because it can take anywhere from 7 to 9 times to submit it to get it right. And it's really hard to get the video verification down, because you need to be able to record this video with no edits, nothing breaking, within less than 2 minutes. So the video actually is best at 1 minute and 30 seconds, and it can be no longer than 2 megabytes. But there are specific things you need to see. And for a home-based business, it's really tough, because you have to show your street sign and then go inside to show maybe your logo on your actual screen. It's a lot of coordination that can happen. So sometimes video verification take a whole lot longer. Okay. Have you ever seen that without moving the pin, it shows the incorrect location? Yes, I've seen that a lot of times. So what happens, Stephen, is Google Maps and Google Business Profile work together, but they are not one and the same. Just so you know, Business Profile is a separate entity compared to Maps. So when you make a change in Maps, and this can happen, anybody who doesn't even own your business can move your pin around and make a suggestion to Google. But it takes about 30 days, 30 to 60 days actually, for the satellite to pass over. So Google will not make the change to the pin even if you submit a change for about 30 to 60 days, because we wait for the satellite to pass over. Now understand, if it's dusty, if it's cloudy, if it's rainy, bad weather, then it may not register it the first time, and it may take a couple of times for the satellite to pass over. So it could realistically take 90 to 180 days is normally what Google Maps will tell people to be able to confirm moving a pin. But that does happen sometimes. And sometimes it's Google, and sometimes it's people who have way too much time in their hands moving pins around and making suggestions to Google, because there are those people who do that too. All right, so let's look at your description. Great question, Stephen and Donna. So let's look at your description. You want to match what people are actually searching for. Use their words. I see a lot of companies who are stuck in industry speak. So let's say, for example, let's say I'm an overhead door company, and I'm the most amazing overhead door company since 1921. So I have these great awards. I've got the best of, my city. I am just so well known. So everywhere you see, we are the number one door company in Austin, Texas, and we are the best ones ever that you'll see. We've gotten all of these great awards. And if you need overhead door company help, we're here with all of this variety, these 3,000 different varieties of overhead door. I could go on and on about that description. But if your best customer is somebody who says, hey, Google, hey, Alexa, hey, ChatGPT, my garage door is broken, who can fix it? Do any of those words match? Google's algorithm is built on three pillars: relevance, distance, and prominence. Number one is relevance, and it's a hefty one. How well do you match what people are searching for? Does garage door mean overhead door? Fix my garage door. They're the best overhead door company in the world. No, it's not relevant. It won't match. You won't show up in the first 10 searches of Google search. And to this person who's searching for your product, service, or solution, you are not visible, so they cannot do business with you. They do not know you exist. So it's on us to know the words that our customers use when they're searching. How do you find those words? You either talk to your customers. It's okay to talk to them when you don't have anything to sell them. It's all right to stay in relationship with them, but also read your reviews, because in their own words, people tell you what matters most to them. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have any customers, go read your competitors' reviews, because it's important to do competitive research. We know that with our SCORE mentors, the value of other people's experience. There's a lot of value in other businesses' experiences, their failures, and also their gaps. And in their reviews, people are telling you in their words, they write about what matters most to them. So look at that. And now also see where you might have a sweet spot where maybe your competitor is not serving them, but it could be a great opportunity for you. So include those in your description so people will see this. And do know, somebody has a mic on, please make sure you mute your mic. And then also just make sure that you also put that in your description, because answer engine optimization is pulling you from your description when Google does its AI overviews that you see often showing up now in Google search, in any search, because all search engines are now powered by some percentage of AI. Okay. The old business is still on the map. We reported it numerous times. It's been since August. I would continue to do that, Bryce. The old business, did you go ahead and delete it though and shut it down? So did you completely shut down the business, or are you talking about a business that existed before you, so it wasn't owned by you? Okay. Look at your location also. Make sure you look at the location, your hours, and more. Understand Google Business Profile is hyper local focused. You can also put attributes. Understand I work with a lot of veterans as a military brat. I work really closely with the USO and the Air Force Recruiting Station and really all branches of military. And I know when people want to do business with a veteran-owned business, they are looking for that V. It's very important to them that they work with somebody who has the experience and the same reference of knowing what the commissary, the BX is, and MOS, as well as what it is to be PCS and TDY. They want somebody who speaks that language with them. The attributes where you can set that up is when you go to edit profile, you're going to click more, and then you're going to go ahead and put what actually aligns with you and what you feel comfortable putting there on your Google Business Profile. You now can go to your hours of operation, and this is important too, because, excuse me, because people do look that way. Let me take a quick drink. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cough in your ear. But yes, people do look by hours too. Okay, let's see. If you work from home, hold on just a second. Sorry about that. Okay, I think I've stabilized my throat now. All right. So if you work from home with a PO box, what do you do? If you work from home, you need a mailing address that they can deliver the postcard verification. Google likes to verify that you're a real business there. You're not some foreign country trying to act like you're in that location. So what you want to do is you need a physical location for that. PO boxes do not work. So, for example, I was working with an executive director of a theater, a community theater. He, of course, had a community theater. Where else would people go to watch the play? But the community theater did not accept any mail, and they had a PO box for all of the donations and everything that they would receive or send out. So he didn't have that. So he used his actual home address, is what he did. He used his home address and went ahead and said, I serve customers at their location because he didn't want it. I mean, he didn't want people to come to his house to see the play, but he used that to get verified. And in the description explained what was happening and showed the local area. And that's actually how he was able to get his theater there. And then after some time, he was able to remove and change that only because he had some experience and Google now had a level of trust with him and really felt that, okay, this is a viable business. Okay. I did not hear if you said you have to have a separate email address if you have more than one business profile. No, you don't. Donna, one Google address or Google account. So one Google account, and you could have that with a Gmail account. That's a free Google account, or your actual business email address that can have you can get a free Google account. You don't have to change your email, your branded email to a Google account unless you want to, or a Gmail account. But each of those can have up to 100 profiles connected with them. So it's not just one for one. All right, so how to set this up then is your hours. You're going to edit your profile. That's where you're going to go to. You're going to click hours. You're going to add more hours, and you can even put holiday hours. Let's say you have special hours because, Valentine's Day is coming up. So maybe people need special hours to shop, or maybe you have senior hours or pet friendly hours. So again, look at that and see whether or not you need to update for people to have the information that they need to be able to make a good decision to do business with you. So whatever makes you unique, make sure you showcase that. It could be your values, it could be team members. If somebody has somebody who is just known throughout town and they've been on your team helping to greet customers for the last 15 years, people are looking for that. They love to be able to see that. Or maybe you have a new team member and you're celebrating that. People like to know and have a relationship more than transactional with businesses, especially if they feel like it's a great business that actually has been helpful to them, or they feel a connection and loyalty to you. So how you can do updates, all right? So these posts, these updates are actually updates that can be an update about the business. You're celebrating somebody's 15-year anniversary. Maybe you have somebody new coming in. Maybe you're bringing in a new product and you want to give them a sneak peek. So they're getting a behind the scenes look. When the hurricane came, it demolished a lot of different local brick and mortar. And when you look at that with the hurricane, what people did is they actually would start utilizing their business profile to say, look, we're getting a new chair in the salon. Would you like it here or here? So that when people came to the reopening, they really felt like that they were a part of that because that helped build together their salon. So they actually, salons that I worked with actually brought in and had the biggest reopening again because people felt like it was theirs. And it was a great way to celebrate the rebuild after the hurricane. So you can also add an offer. Maybe you have a special deal. We've got $10 off for Valentine's Day for everybody who connects with us here or come see us. We've got this special on till the end of the month, and that offer will be visible on Google Search and Maps till the end of the month. Or perhaps you have an event like a webinar. Okay, score, you may have this webinar. You can have the event available and it will show up no matter when you post it until today, when the actual event happens, the webinar. So understand that the more people can see, the more that you give them some ideas. So you see this a lot of times when people group things together. If you have ever seen people on TikTok or Instagram with GRWM, which is get ready with me, right? So they want to see what's put together, or OOTD, outfit of the day. Then when you see that, people love when things are put together and they have a tendency to buy the whole thing, the whole capsule, the whole look. So do think about that with your product, service, or solution. Are there other things that you can showcase to help them make it easier? Because when people see you more as or less as a provider, so more than a commodity, because when you're a commodity, you actually compete on price. But when they see you as a trusted advisor, somebody that has good information, can see what can go well together, or can help me avoid the pitfalls, then they feel like there's somebody that they know, like, and trust, and people will step over dollars to do business with businesses and people that they know, like, and trust. All right. So what you can also showcase in your Google business profile are your reviews. Now, a lot of people have misstep here. This is where some big mistakes are made. Number one is they don't say thank you for a good review. They immediately, because of nature of the beast, we go focus in on the negative review. But understand, if you want to stand out, 97% of businesses do not say thank you for a good review. So raise yourself to the top 3%, be unique and unusual, and stand out amongst your competitors by saying thank you for a good review. Number two is you are going to get trolls. There are a lot of people online who have way too much time that could have done something good with it, but instead they just want to troll you and say different things. They've never been a customer. You don't even know who they are. Not to worry. Do not feed the trolls. Now, some people will like to respond and even say, you know what? I checked our customer list. I checked our guest list, and I don't see you on there. Please contact us here. You could do that, but you don't have to. Now, there are going to be some negative reviews because if you've been in business any amount of time, there are people who are just never 100% happy with anything at all. Okay. So because of that, there's going to be some negative reviews. Now, understand though, sometimes a negative review is just a request in another format. So what you can do with a negative review is number one, say, that's not the experience we want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. When you do that, three things happen. Number one, they realize you're a real person, and we tend to speak ugly to computers, but we're nicer to actual people, especially if we feel like they're paying attention to what we're saying. Number two, it takes the interaction offline because the more you interact with this review, the more popular Google's algorithm reads it and the higher it shows up in search. Number three, though, is all of us lurking have a chance to see that you're responsive, and none of us want to work with a business or a person who doesn't listen to anybody. But also, it gives you a chance to connect with that person, and you might turn somebody who is an adversary into an advocate just because they feel heard and they now have had their request addressed and they're valued. And I've seen that so many times. So as you look at this, what is it that you're doing with your reviews? And what you can also do in the review thank you is not just say thank you so much for a great review. Think of those words that people use and how you want to get found for, and put those in your actual response. So you're not advertising there, you are thanking them sincerely, but you are using your keywords that you want to get found for on Google search and maps when people are looking for you or your service and or your product. So think about that for a moment. Instead of me just saying, thank you, so that somebody says you did a great webinar, Maria, you really helped practically break it down. I don't just say, thank you, I appreciate you saying that here. I look forward to seeing what you do. I say, thank you so much. I work really hard to make sure that the techie is non-techie and deliver it in a way that are practical 1, 2, 3 steps, because I know that you're busy and I want to help you get found faster on Google. See how rich that is with keywords? When somebody says, hey, Alexa, I want to get found faster on Google, who do you think is coming up? So how to ask for reviews. You can use your Google business profile and use the link there to go ahead and share that. All right, I see some questions here for new business. Is it best to research keywords, name search with Google, YouTube, AI? Lots of places, Jonathan. I can show you that in just a moment. If anybody else wants to see that, I can show you where you can see some keywords. Sharon, how is setting up an event showcase different from an ad? Ads are a whole lot different because then you've got to pay for this. This is all free. Everything that I'm showing you right now is 100% free. Events, offers, all of that free. I see businesses that post 200 of them. There's no cost for that, but they help you show up in Google search and maps. Okay. So your products too, you can put your products there. Your Google business profile has a product catalog. Put this in here. For services, you also have one. Now for services, here's a hint. Not only can you use the service catalog, but you can use the product catalog, because what does it look like when a customer's happy? So if you do air conditioning repair and you don't have a product that you're going to show up there, but it's a maintenance package, and you have a really smiley, happy family that now is not having to deal with 100-degree heat, they're nice and cool, or they're not shivering, they're nice and warm, and you take a picture of them, that happy, satisfied group, as long as they're okay with you publishing their picture, you can put that here as, we have annual packages, so you have relief in your house 365 days a year. Okay. So you can picture that to show what that end result looks like and put that in your product catalog. And now that showcases high in Google search and maps, because understand, we also visual search. You've heard me talk a lot about, hey Google, hey Alexa, the voice search. We all know how to text search, but people are also taking photos of things. Google Lens is on every phone. You can get it on your iPhone, you can get it on an actual Android, and Google Lens gets 12 billion visual searches every single month. 12 billion. They're searching by pictures alone. So I could be out and about and saying, let's say I go visit your kiosk and I don't want to carry anything, or I'm at a festival and I don't want to bog my hands down, but I could take a quick picture of it, and then I can find where I can find it locally. I mean, even if you think about that, Amazon has had that visual search forever. People are utilizing that constantly. And you can actually put your price, your description, remember, matching the words that people are using to be able to be seen. So your next steps are really to take a look at your Google business profile, excuse me, and go ahead then and update anything that you need to, as well as look at your reviews. All right, how do you list your products on Google? I'm sorry about that. This cough came in day before yesterday and it's not being friendly. All right, Google Merchant Center. How many of you have used Google Merchant Center? Put the number 1 in the chat box. Okay. Stania, how do you use that? For those who don't know what Google Merchant Center is if you sell products online, you can use Google Merchant Center for free. Now, people believe it's only for Google ads. You can use it for Google shopping ads, but it's not only for that. You can use it 100% for free. Okay, to list products. I exactly do the same thing. So you can pay for ads to show up, those shopping ads. So if you've ever seen those shopping ads before, let's say we were searching for, I'm going to do a live demo here. Let's say we were searching for recliners. I'm going to do that in a moment. So you can see right up here, right at the very top, all of these photos showing up here, those are Google shopping ads. Sponsored, those are paid positions. Just so everybody can see that, I'll make it a little bit bigger because I'm broadcasting. So you can see these are sponsored. Okay, then we start going into the text sponsored ads. So this is Google shopping ads. The only way you can get these are through Google Merchant Center. But understand, Google Merchant Center isn't only for paid shopping ads. You can use the free components of Google Merchant Center. So what do I mean by free? All right, so for free, if you have Google Merchant Center and you've connected your products there and Google can see what all your products are, you can also go to shopping. So I can do price comparison. So the sponsored is the paid ads, but down here, none of these are paid. Down here, these performance fabric recliners, none of these are paid. Microfiber, and I could decide to, let's see, I only want to look at leather, and I want to make sure the color is black, and I want to make sure that it's under 500. So I can start putting my shopping criteria up here too. Google shopping comparison is how a lot of people do shop. So keep that in mind that you could use that as well. All right, so going into, let's go back. So go into Google shopping, and let's say I'm looking for a desk. So what you can also see is that I can look and see with drawer, I can see a lot of these different things here with Google shopping. So if I go into Google, and oh, sorry, let's go to the address bar to do that. And I go into desk. You will see shopping is one place that you Google shopping puts you for free. Images are another. Videos are another as well. So you can showcase there. Now understand with images, the reason I want to show up here is because remember what I've said about 12 billion people utilizing Google Lens every month to search. Now I can show up here. So let's say I see this amazing desk because I'm at my friend's baby shower. And I was like, oh my gosh, where'd you get this desk? But she's so busy getting all the oohs and ahs about the new baby coming. I don't want to ask her. I'm just going to take a quick picture and go find it myself because I think it's amazing. Now I can find it if you have a picture of your actual desk there, and I can find you on Google search and maps when I'm taking a look, or Google Lens whenever I go in there. Okay. All right, let's go back to the presentation here. And I want to make sure that I cover all your questions too. All right. Did not like how it looked. Okay, well, with WooCommerce, I'm not how you with WooCommerce, it's okay on your website. I'm not looking for Google Business, I mean Google Merchant Center to make it look good on my website. I'm looking for Google Merchant Center to make it out there and visible for people to find. So that's the big thing. Google Merchant Center is not for what it looks like on your website. It is for what it looks like out there. So if you have good photos, and understand when I say good photos, I'm talking about Amazon. If you look at Amazon and anybody who has an Amazon shop, you'll see that they have 7 to 9 lifestyle photos, or actually 7 lifestyle photos, one call out photo, and one product, which is just the white in the background. And usually then they'll also have a 360 video. The reason they have that is because they know people want to be able to shop something and really study it. So they want to have different angles to it. So you could do that. But again, Google Merchant Center is for the way you show up on Google, to be visible to people when they're ready to find your product, service, or solution. Okay. Um, any good for local services or only for products? No, only for products, Darren. So you'll see Google Merchant Center is really built for products, but you can use, Darren, your Google business profile for having your actual search services listed there in your service catalog. But think about how you can visualize your products and visualize the end result. Okay. So again, I just showed you what it looks like in the shopping tab, what it looks like in Google Images, and you can see how Google Merchant Centers looks by going to that link at the bottom left-hand corner there and checking it out to see if it's something that you want to use. It is 100% for free. Yes, you can do Google Shopping ads. Those are paid, but everything else in there is 100% for free. Here are the guidelines to be able to use Google Merchant Center. Your site has to be secure. So you see that right up here, that the HTTPS there at the top of that website address or the URL. The products are available for direct purchase, so they have to be able to be purchased online. Number 2 is you have a secure checkout process. So needs to know that you're secure. That's why that S is important, secure. That means it is secure, a secure site. Don't ever put information, anything, personal phone number, email address to a site that does not have the S, because somebody could be looking at that and harvesting your information. And they must have a public facing return policy. Okay. Now, let's say you are a coaching service, right? Or let's say you have coaching packages and you sell journals, right? But because it's all part of your package and you sell journals, you don't have a return policy. Once they buy it, or maybe it's a digital product, once they buy it and download it, it's done. You're never going to put a return or refund to it. That's okay. Put that on your refund policy. They need to be able to read that and know those are the stipulations and be able to find that easily on your website. When Google can find that as well, then it'll showcase you higher in search because it can trust the fact of what you're doing and what you're saying is upfront and helpful information to people who are searching for you. So now you can take a look at your analytics, because understand, if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that's not lifting that bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1, 1 minute spent too much. So when you look at your business profile at the performance, look at the performance stats, and you can see how many people are actually calling. At what time do you miss their phone calls? Are people actually clicking and coming through to your website? What pages are they looking on? And what are they most interested in? And did they find you on Google Maps or Google Search? Because people finding you on Google Maps are more than likely in the next 24 to 48 hours going to come visit your location. So it's important for you to be aware of that. Do you make the payment process easy? Understand that a lot of people, are shopping laying down somewhere where they're relaxing, and they're shopping on their mobile device. All right, I was working with somebody who had a dog product. He worked with women. His best customers he could serve anybody who had a dog. So anybody with a pupper, he could serve. But his best customer was a woman between the ages of 35 to 44 years old who had 2 children. Best customers. He found out the best time that they were shopping was at 2:20 in the morning, laying in bed on their phone. Now, what he did find out is when he was looking at his Google Analytics, he was getting what's known as abandoned checkout. So there's an abandoned cart. We've all heard what that is. It's when everybody puts something in a cart and they just leave it. We've seen it for real in an actual grocery store. But abandoned checkout means they've already gone through the cart and now they put their address, all their information, but they didn't put the payment information. And 2 things are happening when people have an abandoned their checkout. Number one is they start wondering if they can trust this site because maybe they're not really sure if you will fulfill or you're just going to take their financial information and steal their money. So it could be number one. Number two is, though, that you don't provide a way for them to check out with a tool they're familiar with. Now, just like my friend who sells dog products and people are shopping at 2:20 in the morning, if he didn't have all this there, people would leave his site and not purchase from there if they have to get up to go get their credit card to find out what that is. All their financial information was already in one of these tools. They are more likely to buy if you make it easier for them to buy from them. That's our job, for buy from you. If we make it easy, we need to make it easy all day long for people to buy from us all day long. And if that means that they love Google Pay over MetaPay, or they're a PayPal fanatic, or they don't like any of them and they want the payment in four, so they use Shop Pay and they use the payment, the ability to pay later, you need to be able to offer that to them so that they can buy from you all day long. Yes, sometimes they do fall asleep. How many of us have had the phone hit us on the head? I'm not even going to go in camera for that answer. Okay. So we need to think mobile first. All right. A lot of times when you're looking at mobile design, I did this with a group I was talking to about your website design because I do work in international e-commerce. So for example, here, take a look at this. See this button? Let me go up here. You see that button, add to cart? Now look here on that left side, you see the mobile version of that? You see the little chat box right there? A lot of people will put their chat box there because it's by default, right? So they just never move it around. The only problem is when I am ready to make a purchase and I'm on my mobile device, okay, so I'm holding it here and I'm left-handed, but I'm holding with my right hand. How far does my thumb go, everybody? What's in the way there when I'm trying to get it? That chat box. So unless I want to enable or enact with that, engage with that chat box, then it should be on the other side. And right there, where my thumb can reach, should be the add to cart. I should easily be able to shop all day long. Okay, you didn't see where I pointed? So if you look at the screenshot right there to the left of that laptop or tablet screen, you'll see as a mobile device, and you'll see at the very bottom, you see the chat box there, Donna, with the little red one in it. Okay, so now I'm on my mobile phone. Okay, my mobile phone. How far can my thumb go? What's in the way in this design? That chat box. I need the add to cart button there. Any company that I work with in e-commerce knows that I like to keep the add to cart button right there. I want them tapping on that all day long, right? We want to make it easy for people to buy from us. We want to be able to connect the dots between what we have that's amazing and exactly what they're searching for, right? So let's go ahead and talk about what we talked to cover today. Create or claim your business profile, read and respond to customer reviews. My gosh, there is so much rich search engine and answer engine optimization happening in your review responses, and people don't do that. They don't even look at it. Use Google Merchant Center to display those products across Google, but understand you can do that with the product catalog and the service catalog in your business profile and make that checkout process easier for customers all day long. Let them be able to buy from you and make it simple for them to do that. That's when they'll refer their friends and families. Okay. So for you, what's your next plan of action? What are you going to do to help reach more people online to be able to do business with you? Understand that knowledge is not powerful until it is applied. And part of that is really figuring out what are the one, two, or three things that you're going to take action on so that you'll actually take action on. And once you take action on them, you'll feel a little bit of success and you'll be ready to take action on more. And that's how you contribute to your bottom line to help grow your business and get found faster on Google. All right, I want to say thank you to SCORE. This is another free resource that you have available to you, just like what Bill was talking about at the top of the hour as we started. SCORE is absolutely amazing, and you want to get with your local SCORE chapter to help you because they are such great resources. Now, also, in addition to SCORE, talk to the SCORE mentor. Maybe there's one who has got some experience, or at least even the local vendors they can refer and recommend to you, because that is a great difference too. I love when you can do business locally. It makes such a difference in your community. If I can help you, we are doing a sprint. So we're doing a sprint challenge. It's 100% free. So we're doing a 5-day visibility sprint challenge starting February 9th. I would love for you to join us. It's 100% free to do it. And this is to just get you in the habit of doing it. Because a lot of times we all go to these trainings and we think they're amazing, but they're great edutainment. And we put our notes aside, or we go ahead and just close that doc out or that screen. And we have all the great intentions of doing something, but we don't. And you know what they say about great intentions and where you actually get with those. So this will actually start getting you to apply what you've learned. And if you want to connect with me, again, it's a bit.ly link, so it is case sensitive. Make sure you use this link, find whatever social that you utilize and meet me there, because I want to make sure that I connect with you. And I love to be able to showcase and share people who actually have been to a webinar and applied what they've learned, because it's so rare, really. If you really want to come up to the upper 20%, you'll be the 20% who actually take action on what was actually taught here in the webinar. If I've been helpful to you now, I want to say, please, I'd love to ask for a review. And the reason I do this is not just because it's smart business tactics, but because I like to model for you what I actually teach, which is to ask for a review anytime you've given a good product, service, or solution. I do see somebody asking for the sprint to go back, so I'm going to go ahead and put that back. There is the sprint. Remember what I said about bit.ly being case sensitive. So the G, the F, and the S have to be capitalized if you're using the bit.ly link there. And in fact, I'll drop that in the chat box. Let me just type it out here without making a mistake. So sometimes I have to stop talking to do that. Okay, I think I did that right. There you go. But you see the QR code there in front. Thank you for asking about that. If you serve internationally, can you head countries serve? I'm not sure I understand the question, Donna. If you could rephrase it, just let me know, okay? All right, let's go into Q&A. Are there any questions that I haven't addressed for you here? Let me see those. Oh, okay, let me go back to the sprint. I'm going to put that up front just because it was asked again. Can you add countries that you serve? Okay, your Google business profile, great question. Oh, and then somebody asked about keywords, which I'm happy to go over, but I don't want to do that if it's not of interest to you. All right, so countries on your Google business profile. All right. With your Google business profile, let me get to here so I'm at the right screen. With your Google business profile, Donna, it is hyper-local focused. So if you start putting countries in there, you're actually going to dilute the effectiveness of the Google business profile. You can put up to 20 cities, 20 zip codes, 20 counties, but the sweet spot is to stay within 35 to 100 miles of the location if you are showing your address. If you're not showing your address, pick your favorite location. Like for me, I don't show my address because I'm like this in webinar, or I'm at a location. I'm in Las Vegas, or I'm in Northern California speaking at a conference. So I'm with a group, or I'm in Chicago. I don't work from there, so I'm not going to put that as my location. But pick the place where you get a biggest concentration of your customers and put them all together. So if it's in Dallas, let's say I'm in Midland, Texas, I'm about 400 miles west of Dallas. So if Dallas is my area, then I would pick Dallas, Fort Worth, maybe Flower Mound, maybe within the different suburbs, Arlington, Texas too. I would stay within the 35 to 100 mile area, because once you start spreading across, and I've seen people do this, you know when they do it, because they don't show their address and they'll say that they serve from Seattle to Miami or New York to LA. And then when you look at the pin for them, you're out in the ocean. And that means nobody but somebody in the middle of the ocean, when they're there, can find you when they're looking for you on Google search and maps, okay? You're very welcome, Liz. Jennifer, did you say you have to do a video to verify your business? It's one of the ways to verify your business. It's not the only way. Google is going to present you with the ways that are allowed for you, and that has to do with the quality of your website, how long, the age of your website, the domain authority of your website. All of that will be determined before Google decides, okay, we are going to send you a postcard, or maybe we're going to call you or text you a verification code to verify that you're the owner. So some people get a quick text, some get a quick robocall from Google with the actual verification code there, some get the postcard, but some are thrown into verification by video. And it really depends on your history and your quality, the quality of your website online, okay? Do I need, let's say, let's see, just, I left my review. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you. Or Tamara. I will be providing an entertainment service and want to get the attention of those who will be coming to attend. Does that change anything for me? No, you can show. I know people who do singing grams that utilize Google Business Profile. In fact, it's the number one way they make money is on their Google Business Profile because they even have their booking calendar booked there, and their booking calendar happens to be a Google Calendar link. So it's connected to Stripe, so they have to pay to actually book even time with them. So they make everything very effective and efficient in being able to raise money. And they're considered an education service, entertainment service. Sorry, boy, I can't speak. That cough is throwing me off. Do I need a virtual office address whenever a person searches my services? The top choices for Google. You don't need a virtual office. You can just show up that you show in this location. I show up that I show up in this location, even though I don't want anybody showing up at my home office, but people know that I'm here. So if we want to get together, then I can meet them at a coffee shop. But you don't have to have a virtual office unless you want one, if that's where you want your meeting spot to be. But I normally meet either at the Chamber of Commerce or at a coffee shop. You're very welcome, Thomas. Any other questions? Fernando, did I answer your question? Anybody else? All right, perfect, Fernando. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Bill. I think everybody has asked their questions.
Well, thank you, Maria. Again, great job as always. Maria will be back with us on the 18th at noon to talk about cybersecurity for your small business. And then on the 25th at 3 o'clock Eastern Time for Launch Your Business with Customer Focused Marketing. As always, she does an outstanding job, and we look forward to her support. So thank you all for joining, and we'll see you at our next webinar.